have a Bible, I want you to open up your Bible to Matthew 9. Matthew 9 verses 14 to 17. 마태복음 9장 14절부터 17절까지요. 자, 오늘 어떤 일이 벌어지냐면 지난번에 혹시 어떤 일이 있었는지 알아요? Do you remember what happened last night? What happened last night? Not last night. Last week. What was happening?
예수님과 세리들과 밥 먹었어요.
He was right. Yeah. He was having a meal with Pharisees and Sadducees. No. Was tax collectors, right? So Matthew, Levi, and his friends, right? And then Pharisee was accusing him. Why is your teacher having a meal with tax collectors and sinners? And then Jesus said, I desire steadfast love. I desire mercy and not sacrifice and not religion. That was the content. And today, what Jesus is having is that, you know what is Jesus doing? Is Jesus doing something wrong?
No.
Is Jesus doing something bad to the people? What is Jesus doing? He's just doing his ministry, right? What he's doing is that he's helping the poor, the sick. He's stretching out his arm to cure the illness and disease of the people. He's doing nothing wrong, right? But what you continue to see in Matthew is that he is facing his enemies every day. You know what's the worst enemy in your life? The worst enemy, not teachers. Your worst enemies in your life are not facing teachers, but who?
Your inner self.
Your mom. Okay. You will see in today's scripture. If you look at it carefully, oh my goodness, this is really difficult situation. Alright, you will see. Let's look at Matthew 9 together. Let's find out what's the worst enemy of your life. Matthew 9 verses 14 to 17. 한국말 찾아놔서 영어로 읽을게요. Then the disciples of John came to him, saying, Why do we and the Pharisees fast, and your disciples do not fast? And Jesus said to them, Can the wedding guests mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast. No one puts a piece of unshrunk clothes on an old garment, for the patch tears away from the garment, and the worse tears is made. Neither is new wine put into old wineskins. If it is, the skins burst, and the wine is spilled, and the skins are destroyed. But new wine is put into fresh wineskins, and so both are preserved. Can we pray together? Heavenly Father, thank you so much for another opportunity to look at your scripture and study your scripture. And we want to devote ourselves to scripture reading. So open our eyes and minds and hearts so that we can receive your word with gratitude and joy, so that we can apply your word into the living. So God, give us your wisdom and knowledge. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Alright, so what's happening in today's scripture is that Jesus is just walking with his disciples, doing nothing wrong. And what's happening now? The disciples of who? John came forth. And they are accusing who? Jesus and his disciples. Who are the disciples of John? It's pretty much they are They are on the same team. They are pretty much the same people. The disciples of John are very close to the disciples of Christ, because John's ministry was all about the ministry of Jesus Christ. They are the same people, same team. They attend the same school. They attend the same church. They are same family members. Now, the worst enemies that you can face are not the enemies outside, but the enemies inside. Enemies who are close to you. Enemies like your friends. Enemies like your brothers and sisters coming to you, accusing for something you did not do anything wrong. You don't deserve this kind of treatment. Jesus was helping the sick and the people. What did he do wrong? Nothing, right? You have nothing to say. Jesus did nothing wrong, right? That's the reason why he didn't speak anything. Yes, everyone knows that Jesus was doing righteous deeds, good things, and he was having good behaviors. Then why is it a problem? Why? The problem is, while living, when you are having an intimate relationship with your friends, teachers, parents, and we sometimes, the worst battles that we can have are the battles that happens between friends, among friends, parents, teachers, and students, right? Why do we fight? Why do we do that? Because people gossip. Pharisees came forth and talked to the disciples of John and said, hey, you know what? The disciples of Jesus Christ, they are not fasting. They claim that they are good religious people, and yet they do not fast. But you know what? You and you disciples are fasting. How come the disciples of Jesus Christ do not fast? Hey, come to me. We have this religious deeds and righteousness in our life. We are this much religious people. Let's go talk to the disciples of Jesus Christ, because they are the people doing wrong. Until the Pharisees and Sadducees come forth to disciples of John, they have no idea what to do. They didn't have any intention to fight against the disciples of Jesus Christ. But why is the disciples of John fighting against the disciples of Jesus Christ? It's because of Pharisees and Sadducees. You know what? While living, remember, your parents are not your enemies. Your moms are not your enemies. Please understand. Your friends are not your enemies. Your friends are not. So don't fight with your friends. Please believe that your teachers are not enemies. They're angelic figures standing back there, looking at you with loving smiles. They have full of love and grace. They love you. You don't trust me. Internal battles are the most difficult battles. Sometimes you have time that your family members, and friends, and possibly your teachers can be seen as your family, not family enemies. But remember, they are not the enemies. They are not. See, if you look at the attitude of Jesus Christ, you can learn a good lesson. What did Jesus say? Did Jesus fought against the disciples of John? No, he didn't. He chose not to. He chose not to argue against. He chose not to fight against. Then what did he do? He said a story. Listen, the disciples of John, listen. Yes, you are religious people. So you fast, you worship, you sacrifice your lives. That's a good example. But remember, what we do, that we have to put new wines in the new wineskin. We have a new religion, new teaching. That teaching is that the disciples of mine are going to join the celebration We have a party together. We spend time together. We enjoy every moment of our life. And at the time the bridegroom is taken away, at the time my disciples will fast. So the new religion, the gospel message, is completely new. It's completely different from the old religion. The old religion that you are climb up the stairs, trying to reach God, trying to be closer to God. You are doing it by yourself with your own effort. But in the gospel message, the message is completely different. God came down and He loved us first. He loved us first. That's the reason we are full of love and grace, reaching out to the people later at our own time. Even if our bridegroom is taken away from us, it's perfectly fine. Because we felt the love and grace within us, we can walk the path Jesus laid down for us. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for an opportunity to look at your scripture. Let your scripture be inscripted in our hearts so that we can walk forth the path that you have designed for us. So that we can walk the path that Jesus walked through every step, every morning, every day. We are determined to walk the life of righteousness, the life of truth. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. Announcements?